Okay, so I'm doing a video, even though I don't ever do these. I'm doing one because I feel like if I don't, then I may hate myself in the future for not doing this. So I just want people to know where my perspective is and how I'm feeling about everything that's going on. First and foremost, I do not feel like we are safe. I do not feel like we're protected. I feel like we need to take measures now to protect ourselves. We do need to look towards our local politicians and our employers to make sure that we're staying protected. Now, if that means that you're sending a message to your governor, you're reaching out to the mayor's office, you're reaching out to city council, you're reaching out to anyone that you know will have somewhat of an influence locally in your community, you need to be expressing your concerns. It is not okay that people are still going to work right now. It's not okay that we're just acting like this situation isn't going to get much worse by everybody going out and going to work and socializing and be around everyone else. If you get to-go food, there are people that touched your food before it came to your door. If you go to the drive-thru, there are people that have breathed in the area that your food is around. There are people that have touched your food. If you go inside the grocery store, there are people breathing and coughing and sneezing and touching things and touching their face and touching their kids and touching their family. And it's just sanitizer only can help so much. We have to do our part by being prepared. We have to do our part by staying indoors. We have to do our part by reaching out to local politicians and federal government as well and letting them know how we feel. And that it is very important. As much as we want to maintain our job security, trust me, I understand. I understand feeling like, what if this is the end of my job? What if I can't make a paycheck 2 months from now, 3 months from now? What if I'm stuck in a situation where I can't make an income? Yes, that is a valid concern. But what if you're stuck in a situation where you go to work and you catch it, and then you come home and you bring it to someone who's immunocompromised, to a family member, or you start having symptoms yourself and you get put in the ICU? And then when you're in the ICU, you're not able to see your family because you're under quarantine. You can possibly get atelectasis, which is like collapsing of your lungs. Many people that have had this, that I've, watched and looked at, they're all saying that it feels like you're breathing in glass. It feels like you have heavy pressure on your chest because you cannot breathe. What happens to the body when you cannot breathe is your organs shut down, potentially. Now, that is a worst case scenario. But if you cannot breathe, over a period of time, your lungs can collapse and your organs can fail. That should be enough right there for you to say, I'm not going to potentially expose myself to people who have this virus. I'm not going to take the risk by going to work. I understand that there are certain essential needs that you may need to go out for. But at this point, you need to prepare so that you cannot feel the need to go out. If you need groceries, absolutely get them delivered or get curbside service. Don't go inside the grocery store. It's not safe. The numbers that we have from the testing and everything that they're doing, it's just not valid to say that those numbers are accurate because there's not enough tests. And there's way too many people out there that can possibly be asymptomatic still and just carrying, just being a carrier, just touching things, breathing. They're saying now that it's very, very likely, and it does spread as a droplet form. So for people that don't know, what a droplet is it's basically if you cough or sneeze or the humidity in your breath, this virus is micro, okay? It's very, very small. So basically the droplet is in those things. It's in your breath, it's in your cough, it's in your sneeze, it's in your sweat. Those droplets, they start in the fluid. As the fluid dissipates into the air, that virus, that little microbe, it floats in the air. Even if you don't touch a person who's asymptomatic and carrying, you can be within 10 feet of them, and that little microbe, that little virus that's floating in the air, it can get in your eyeballs. You can breathe it in through your mouth. It can touch your hand, and you could touch your face. It amazes me that people are still out there and they're not understanding the 100% just seriousness of this virus. It's not something that you play games with. It's not something that you say, well, I'm afraid to lose my job, so maybe I'll just go to work and we'll just have to see what happens. No. And I'm not saying that you have to just quit your job and not show up. What you need to do is you need to be the voice of reason for your employer. You need to talk to other employees via text message, on Facebook. Have everybody address this with your employer and let them know how unsafe you feel by going into the salon, which is your job every day, going into the restaurant, which is your job every day, going into the grocery store. I mean, at this point, I really do feel like, as much as I appreciate people that are still working at the grocery stores and the gas stations, they should be limited to the fact that they're only doing curbside services and not having to expose themselves every day to other people that are coming into the grocery store, like I said, that may or may not have symptoms, that are just touching and breathing and sweating and spreading. It's not okay, and it's not safe. And yes, people, I am very concerned. I don't want to be that person that people say, oh, you know, she's a fear mongerer, she's just trying to cause panic. No, I'm not. I'm trying to protect people that I love and people that aren't taking this seriously enough to say that it's just not worth it. I'm trying to get people to just respect the fact that life and your health is the most valuable asset that you have. Not only as a citizen of your city, your state, your entire country, your life is valuable. And it's not okay that you even have to feel like you're being put in a place where you have to choose your job or your livelihood over your health and your life and your family's health and your family's life. I mean, just to put it in perspective, like I said, if you do catch this, even if you're not immunocompromised, even if you're not elderly, even if you've had completely good health, no major medical issues up until this point, there are other people out there that are in that same situation, that have good health just like you do, that have been shook by this disease, or they've picked it up and just been a carrier and spread it to someone else that has. The numbers are not accurate. The numbers are going to keep multiplying. We're seeing, just extraordinary results every day just with the tests that they do have. Last I heard, most people, most states, most cities, most hospitals are only doing testing for people that are already in severe and critical condition, people that are already in the ICU. Those are the only people that they're allowing testing. Now, I know that's not everywhere. I know that there, healthcare professionals obviously are being tested as well. And there's probably, regular citizens that have had access to testing also. But for the majority, you can't just say, okay, I have a dry cough, I have a fever, I want to test. They have to be able to have some type of, proof that you deserve a test, that you're in danger, that it's, and they say, the frustrating thing, really one of the most frustrating things for me is the president goes on national TV and, our governors, our mayors, I know I live in Texas, I've been watching the governor and all of his speeches as well. They go on national TV and they say, if you're sick, don't go to work. I'll say this again. You can be a carrier of this disease without any symptoms. You can feel physically 100% fine and still go out there and still give it to someone. It's not a case of feeling sick or not feeling sick, whether or not you're going to spread it. It's a case of anyone and everyone can spread it. And our governors, our mayors, our senators, every state really just needs to just pull the plug right now. Just really shut it down for non-vital, employers to even be open. Because if they don't, we're all going to be in the same place as New York right now. It's crazy there. It's really insane. I've heard from multiple people that now the hospitals are at capacity, that, it's pandemonium there. And it's only a matter of time until things start getting scarier. Everywhere else. Things are not going to get better from this thing unless we do our part to stop the spread, period. Period. I cannot be more serious about this. Every single day I can't stop thinking about it because it really does. It makes me so there's hardly even a word to describe the emotion. It's not really anger as much as it is just frustration, just not feeling like enough people know just the level of unprecedented seriousness that this country is in right now. So, I've almost been talking for 15 minutes straight, and I may or may not post this video. Depends on how I feel later. I will say it again. Stay at home. Do not go out. Even if you feel like you're going to be fired, which majority of the chance you won't be, but if you do feel that way and you think that that's a possibility, it's not worth your life. You can always find a new job. You can't get another life. You can't bring back a family member. You can't bring back, somebody else's family member. You can always find another job. I truly believe that this is going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. And I'll say it again, which I'm probably repeating myself a million times by now, but reach out to your local politicians. Take the time while you have it, if you do, to really make sure that you're reaching out to the governor, reaching out to the mayor. We have to put a halt on this thing, and we have to be proactive. We cannot just sit by and just wait for things to get worse before we say, okay, now we need to all stay inside, because it's already to that point where we need to take those measures to make sure that this is not spreading, period. Please be scared. I want you to be scared. A little bit of fear is healthy, and it's what you really need to kind of push through this and make sure that you're protecting yourself. But still stay positive, be faithful. I mean, have that little sense of, we can get through this and we will get through this, and it's not the end of the world. We just have to make sure that we're doing things to make sure that we can get through this as quickly as possible. We have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our family members. We have to stay inside. We have to stay home. You have to talk to people remotely, over the phone, send an email, whatever you have to do. But just make sure that your voice is someone getting heard, and make sure that you're protecting yourself. Make sure that you're staying inside. Make sure that you're, obviously washing your hands. Just another quick bit of information. I mean, I've been hearing this from multiple sources. I don't know how accurate it is, but you want to make sure that you're drinking some water every 20 minutes or so, just to kind of keep your throat moisturized. That way, if there is a small chance that you breathe in, the droplet or whatever it is, if you breathe in any type of virus, it helps it kind of lubricate the area so it doesn't get inhaled straight into your lungs. Instead, that little microbe, that little virus, it'll hopefully get swallowed down into your gastrointestinal system, where the gastrointestinal juices can eliminate the virus in your stomach, hopefully. Again, I don't know how accurate that is, but I'll take my chances. It sounds like a safe bet to me. I've been trying to make sure I'm drinking as much fluids as possible. Obviously, if you are already having symptoms, take hot showers, try to get the phlegm and the disease out of your body. Just do what you can. Wash your hands, stay clean. If you're in your house, don't worry about wearing gloves and masks in your house, because it's, but when you get home from being outside, make sure that you're washing your hands. Again, we want to make sure that the personal protection equipment, of course, is still being preserved as much as possible, because there's so many places out there that don't have enough. So many medical facilities, hospitals, testing sites, they don't have enough to protect themselves. So us people that are keeping themselves indoors and staying inside, don't worry so much about having masks and gloves at home. Don't go out there and mass buy toilet paper. My God, people. Really, don't do that, okay? Just protect yourself, wash your hands. If you're having symptoms, they say, treat it the best way that you can with the symptoms that you're having. Take hot showers, try to spit, try to cough it up, try to get it out, and stay aware, stay focused. Make sure that you're, still kind of looking and paying attention to the news every day, so that way you can really get a grasp on how serious this is getting and how fast it's getting serious, and just reach out to everyone you know, bond together, have faith, stay positive, but protect yourself, period. Nothing is worth your life or your health. Nothing is worth risking someone else's life or their health either. Stay home, stay inside. Thank you for listening to this video, if you did. And feel free to comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you guys. Bye.